Recent years have been a happy place for the Isle of Man's tennis players when it comes to the Island Games, and the Manx competitors will be hoping to keep up that recent success when they head to Guernsey from the 8th to the 14th of July. For 2023, there are 9 players overall, 5 female and 4 male, set to take to the courts with a blend of games experience and youth experiencing the event for the first time. As with all sports, the tennis schedule is expected to be a busy one and will test the players to both their physical and mental limits. So how will they cope with that challenge? We caught up with the team's manager, Daphne Snidal, to hear what her hopes and expectations are.
Well, some of our players are off island and they're on their individual tennis programmes at schools and university. And the ones on the island are now into the tennis season with league matches and competitions regularly.
It's always a bit of a balancing act, I think, that any Manx sport has to go through. Some athletes will be on island and off island when it comes to things like, say, the Island Games or the Commonwealth Games. So how do you get around that as a team manager?
Well, it is, as you say, tricky. So you have to just do the best you can. And when they are on the island for holidays and whatever, try and get all of them together for a practice. Otherwise, it has to be down to the individuals to organise their own preparation.
We've got the local tennis season getting underway and the players off island, they're already doing their own training. So that must give you some comfort knowing that they're getting regular training and game time in as we lead up to the games.
Yeah, it's always good to know they're out there playing regularly, keeping fit and practising. And even when the weather's not so good, we've got indoor facilities, so they have been playing regularly.
Let's just take a look at the team a little bit. In terms of the personnel there, where do the biggest strengths lie for the Isle of Man, do you think? What are all those athletes going to bring to the table, do you think?
Well, this time we've got a real cross-section. We've got the experienced players that have been to several Island Games and won titles in the past. And then we've got some young, up-and-coming, really talented players that it will be their first games and they're really excited to be going.
This seems to be a theme with a lot of the sports going to the Island Games. There's always that blend of youth and experience, those who know what it's like to be involved in managing the occasion and so on. And then for those younger players, very exciting it must be to be competing at international level for the first time in something like this.
It is. They are really keen to go and show what they can do at that level. It's that one up from county tennis, which most of them have played. And hopefully they'll be able to show us what they're worth. We've
spoken about this. This was one of the comments you made about Isle of Man tennis in general. It's not maybe considered to be, in inverted commas, one of the higher profile sports on the island, but tennis has had an awful lot of success at the Island Games over the years, hasn't it?
It has. In the last 4 games that I've been to, we have had at least 6 medals per games, which is pretty good going for a team of 10.
And that must give a lot of confidence, not just to the experienced players who know how to play and win at tournaments like this, but for the younger ones coming through, they've got a chance, they've got, good team members around them. That must give them a whole lot more comfort going into such a big tournament.
I think it does, and we have players who are used to bringing on the younger players in their clubs and in Island Games and in county matches. So they are very respectful of what they're going through. They've been there, done it, and now it's time to help someone else do the same thing.
And in terms of the schedule as well, for all the sports, it's a bit unique sometimes for Manx sports, the Island Games, because of how intense the schedule can be with all the different competitions. Sometimes people are playing once, maybe twice a day. So how do you get round that, knowing as team manager you've got some players on island and off island, getting them ready for just the physical side of it?
It's always a big shock when they get to Island Games. The matches there are so intense. At the last games, we had one 14-hour day at the courts. We usually miss our evening meal. We have snack runs regularly to keep them fueled up. So they're never ever going to experience in local competition or even in county competition the level of intensity they get at an Island Games.
So does that mean that Isle of Man tennis has effectively a food and drink courier service going on throughout the games as well as having to compete out there?
Definitely, yes. You'd be surprised how much tennis players eat.
And finally, just looking to the ambitions of the team as a whole, we've talked about the fact that Isle of Man tennis has had some great success at the Island Games over the years. So going into this year, what would you be hoping for as team manager? What do you want to achieve?
Well, I would hope we could at least repeat what we did in Gibraltar in 2019, which was 3 silver and 2 bronze. Maybe go one further than that, hope for a gold.
Thank you for having the stamina to make it to the end of the Manx Radio Sportscast. You're clearly someone who has their eye on the ball at all times. Want to hear more about the latest sporting news across the Isle of Man and much more? then might I recommend you take the plunge and subscribe to this series or a wide range of Manx Radio podcasts at your favourite podcast provider, so that, in a flash, all of our finest moments take a winner's place on your smartphone. Thank you.